Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, I got homework, y'all. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I got some homework. Let me get my little intro in. Hold on.
Thank you so much for watching my videos. Hey, please thumbs up this video, and also subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you could be alerted to my new videos. All right, we're getting ready to get into this. Peace.
All right, people. So, if you saw my last two videos, my first video was in response to, remember I told you I was perusing on Facebook because I was trying to make sure that, because through StreamYard, you can stream through all these different places. They've added Instagram, you can stream through Twitter, you can stream through YouTube, and you can stream through Facebook. And also you can stream through Twitch. They've just added Instagram. So I was going over to Facebook to kind of set my channel up to have its best visibility as possible because I was going to do a bunch of new lives and things like that. And I'll talk about that at the end of this video. But when I went over there, I came across an article that talked about Ryan Coogler was going to be Ryan Coogler was going to be directing these Disney Plus series on what was it? Ironheart and something else. And you remember Ironheart was introduced in Wakanda Forever. And my first video, I asked, who asked for that? Who asked for that? I don't think anybody asked for that. I asked for you all to put down in the comments if you asked for Ironheart, put a heart emoji. And if you asked for recast T'Challa, put the ninja emoji. And in that particular video, I saw a lot of ninja emojis, so there ain't nobody asked for that. And it got me to thinking about the recast T'Challa movement, not within the movement itself, but is the movement falling on deaf ears with the MCU? Or was the MCU ever even thinking about the recasting of T'Challa? So I asked a series of questions. I asked a series of questions to my comic book people. I asked a series of questions to people that understand the Black Panther world and things like that. And I also talked about the death peddlers. And for me, the death peddlers are those people that love funerals. They get some kind of satiation uh, with things dying and not looking at the long-term effects of that. And in between those two videos, I talked about the long-term effect of that. Look at what's going on. Now, do we have an issue, a problem? Because like I tell you all, I'm not in these gender wars. I think that women have the ability to bring things to the table. Men have the ability to bring things to the table. What they bring to the table should be what's authentically who they are. And I'm going to say that one more time, that it should be what's authentically who they are. Because if you're in these gender wars, as a man, you want her to cook and to clean and to submit to you. But is authentically who she is that going to mesh with who you are? If it's not going to mesh, here's the news flash: that's not the woman for you. Same thing with women. You want these different things out of a man. But is that who authentically who he is? And if that is a no, newsflash, he's not going to mesh with you. So I think it's more important for you to be who you are authentically. And then when you look to have a partner, are there compromises? Exactly. There are. There is just no way around that. But those compromises should not change who you are authentically. And so Pam, here you go. How does that mean recast T'Challa? What I am saying to you all is this, that on a social level, when you look at superheroes and all those different things, those superheroes are authentically who they are. And Black Panther needs to be authentically who he is. But we don't know who he is because we never had the opportunity for T'Challa to be the Black Panther and to be the king of Wakanda and to make decisions, good, bad, or indifferent, about the country, about who he is, or anything else. What we got was one story, one iteration story, how he had to deal with family issues, being Killmonger. But we didn't have any story how he had to deal with the world or anything above that. Do you know how powerful it would have been to see T'Challa fight Namor? And hear me clear. Outside of this multiverse type situation, because like I said, I don't understand why every movie has to connect. And if it does, why isn't every director and writer in the Zoom meeting understanding where these characters are, who these characters are, and where you want these characters to fit in the multiverse? Again, I am a layperson. I'm making these iterations as someone who watches the movies, who enjoys the movies, but at some point you got to make it make sense. How do you have all this multiverse this and multiverse that, but you've got Loki that didn't talk to Doctor Strange in the multiverse, that didn't talk to WandaVision, that didn't talk to the Marvels, that didn't talk to Shang-Chi, and I can go on and on and on and on and on. You have all of these movies that you say are part of the multiverse, but none of these movies have any way of connecting. And why is that? Because again, the actors and the directors and the writers and the executive producers didn't have a Zoom meeting to sit down and talk about how all these things are going to happen. Here you have Kang, who is supposed to be instrumental in all of this, but it doesn't seem like you had a clear-cut vision for that character. And we do understand the issues and problems and issues that the actor Jonathan Majors had outside of that. So even besides all of that, you did not have a clear-cut image about what you were going to do. So we're getting back to recasting of T'Challa. Remember I said before, I talked about how I could not understand how two Black men talked themselves out of a doggone job. A doggone job that was going to net them 20, 30, maybe possibly $40 million from a 3 movie deal trilogy. Black Panther didn't have to connect with the multiverse saga. Black Panther had a lot of different issues and things going on just with here on Earth that he could have dealt with, and we could have seen, like I said, how he made decisions as a king, good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, you look at the world. The world has found out that Wakanda is sitting on a mind of vibranium? How does he deal politically with these people that want that technology and not giving it to him? That would have been a great movie for that. How did he deal? How would have T'Challa dealt with Namor? How would he have dealt with Namor? Because with Wakanda Forever, I mean, Namor just hopped the ship inland, jumped in the river, and swam all the way up into Wakanda, where was the border tribe. And I sound like I'm rambling, but I do have a point. We never got to see all those things, and it made me go to my second video. Is the MCU invested in T'Challa? Now, I have not watched the What If uh, things yet because I want them to conclude so I can binge watch them. But I do understand that Black Panther or T'Challa is in that, so I'm gonna wait because, like I said, I don't know if it was the first video or the second video. It seems like the MCU's only investment in T'Challa is if he is a side character in someone else's iterations. And what I mean by that, here you have all these little different characters of T'Challa in What If. I remember season one when they made T'Challa Star Lord. That was an iteration of him in the What If series, but we still didn't see him as king of Wakanda coming off of Black Panther. And I also asked the question, how is it that the Black Panther, whoever that is, gets his power from the heart-shaped herb? And they take the herb and they get the powers. If they take the herb again, they lose the power. And they do that only when they're in the at the waterfalls to do the battle to see who wants to fight from whatever tribe in Wakanda to be the Black Panther. And then after that, they take the herb again and they get the powers. And I never could get a straight answer as to in Wakanda Forever, what type of illness did Black Panther have? Did T'Challa have that wasn't counteracted by the herb? Because you remember at the end of Black Panther, Nakia, before Killmonger made the sages or whoever they were called in that pit that was growing the heart-shaped herb, she took one. And that's how they went to M'Baku's place and they gave him the heart-shaped herb and he became the Black Panther again. He had the powers and things of the Black Panther along with Killmonger. They both had the powers. They were fighting, doing whatever they needed to do. So you explain to me how from that to that, because I know he was blipped. Have they talked about some kind of disease that happens to people when they were blipped? I don't remember any iteration of them talking about it. Everybody else who was blipped and came back, they didn't suffer from some type of disease. Doesn't make sense to me. And so my question was, is the MCU, was they invested in T'Challa? And Mr. Theo Butler gave me some homework. I saw your video. I got tickled. Do I bring mama energy? I didn't realize I brought mama energy, but someone needs to sit those three gentlemen down and have a talking to them. And basically what I mean by that is I understand individually that Ryan Coogler and Nate Moore are probably netting a good amount of money individually for themselves. You're talking maybe 6, 7, 8, maybe $10 million. So these types of movies, Ironheart and all those other things, I don't want anybody to mishear me. I'm not mad at them individually for getting those movies. What I'm upset about is the fact that there was a momentum going in regards to Black Panther and all the iterations that we could have seen with Black Panther, either within the multiverse or outside of the multiverse, that we don't get to see because these two gentlemen made a decision that may have benefited them individually financially, but they made a decision that kind of just made me question, well, why in the hell would you do Black Panther if you weren't going to try to fight for it and see it through? Makes no sense. I am thinking, and I'll tell you who I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about my nephew. My nephew, big Black Panther fan. Big Black Panther fan. Didn't take him to go see Wakanda Forever because I knew that it was going to be a funeral type situation, uh, applauded and brought on by the death peddlers, and I didn't want him to see that. He didn't need to see that. But because there was no recasting of Black Panther, and because the way they moved the Black Panther story through, he lost interest. Now he's a Spider-Man fan. Regular Spider-Man and Miles Morales Spider-Man version. He's a Spider-Man guy. Because there is no iteration of the Black Panther coming through that makes any sense. And I know. Well, Pam, I'm sure he can take the mantle. But that's fine for you people with gender wars. But I'm looking at my nephew. I'm looking at seeing him go from being very excited, from dressing up as Black Panther for uh Halloween, Black Panther this, Black Panther that, Wakanda Forever. Now he's straight up a Spider-Man fan. You just lost one. It's so fitting. How come? So you lost my nephew. How many other nephews have been lost? Now, I'm not talking about the movement. I am talking strictly in the MCU because let's face it, most of us casual viewers see it through the MCU. That's where we get our Marvel information from the MCU. Oh, and speaking of that, I see that there is an app for Marvel and Marvel comic books. So y'all put it down in the comments. Is that something that would be worth my money? Will I be able to see and read Black Panther comics from way, way, way back in the day, or is it just a certain time period? Y'all let me know because I think it's $9.99, and I can do $9.99 for a month, and I can read. But first of all, I got to read all the stuff that Theo gave me because I got some homework, and I want to get through that homework first. But I do want to know if that would be a good app to get uh, a good bulk of the comic books because I'm not going to be, and ain't no need to be lying. I'm not going to be purchasing and doing all these comic books. But if this is an app that I can go through there and read as many of the Black Panther comics as I can, y'all let me know if that's a good purchase because I can purchase it for 90 days and get through as many of the comics as I can because I am interested in reading what the comics are saying about Black Panther versus everybody telling me what it's saying. But let me know if that's a good purchase to do. But getting back to this. Oh, and Theo, you said you had some stuff that you can send me. Email me at PamEntertainmentTV@gmail.com because I like gifts. You had all this recast T'Challa uh, merch and posters. I think you were talking about. Email me because I like stuff like that, and I'll get you where you can send all that information to. Did I lose my train of thought? Don't worry about it. I'll get it. I may have lost my train of thought, and that's okay. Because what I can do is we'll read some of the comments, and once we read some of the comments, it will be like, oh, okay, I remember now. So I want to go back through my Death Peddler video. I want to share the screen. Let's share the entire screen. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here's my Death Peddler video. Wanted to read some of the comments. Let's see what we got here. I think that was my top comment about recast T'Challa and put my ninja there. Be real with D real, Death Peddlers, an appropriate nom de guerre, and the goal post raising and cognitive dissidence is bananas with them too. Thank you for this video, sis. I'm a content provider as well as a follower and love to hear more thoughts. And I followed him back. Disney Marvel, this is from Nikki B. Disney Marvel really dropped the ball with how they handled T'Challa. Recast T'Challa needs to happen ASAP. And here's Theo, because he gave me my homework. He over on X, he gave me a list of stuff, and I have gone through about 2 or 3 of the videos, and I will go through all of that information, and I will make a video from that information. Now, I will tell you, it's coming from a casual viewer, and it's also coming from like what's it, Monday morning quarterbacking, because now all of this information has been given, and then I'll start to see if there are any patterns or anything like that going on and let you know. I also will be talking about it from a socio political type situation, and I also will be talking about it through the lens of relationships as well, because I'm seeing a pattern, and I don't want to talk about it right now. Is there may be some more social issues going on in regards to why Nate and Kugler are not pushing this as they could and why they've settled for their Disney Plus spots. But I've been going through it, so I'm just letting you know. Let's see. The closest comparison to Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa are Paul Walker, Brian O'Connor, and William Hurt and Thunderbolt Ross. One actor died during filming. They didn't kill his character off. The other actor died, and Marvel quietly recast the character with Harrison Ford. I remember that because I've noticed even in this whole series or iteration, Marvel picks and chooses who they want to recast. But you also have to remember too that with William Hurt and Thunderbolt, you didn't have the Death Peddlers, and that's you. And I don't want to say that's unique to our community, but that is big within our community, and they're allowed within our community. And I think that there is a point in time for things like this that we have to silence the Death Peddlers. Let's see. Christopher Reeves and Superman. That is such a valid point. You remember Christopher Reeves broke his back, his whole back. And they found other iterations to make Superman. Whether it's TV or whether it's thing. they found other ways to make iterations of Superman. And what does that do? That keeps Superman within the social lexicon of everything that's going on. And remember when I was just talking about early how my nephew is a Black Panther fan, but because he doesn't see content of Black Panther, again, I don't believe his parents is going to purchase a whole bunch of uh, Black Panther comics. Not that they cannot. I just don't know his now socially in his lexicon, he's into Superman. He's into Miles Morales Superman. I mean, excuse me, Spider-Man. I'm sorry, y'all. And that's such a good point. If you don't keep it in, if you don't keep these characters continuously in the social lexicon of everything, people tend to forget about them. All right, let's see. Hopefully Disney Plus, this is from Flash by Night. Hopefully Disney Plus shows in general get better. There was a good bit of cleaning and admitting fault with the shows a month or so ago. Hopefully that leads to change. And a lot of that had to do with the pandemic because see, we was inside. And I think a lot of studios lean to, were leaning towards that particular way of putting out movies and TV shows and things like that because they thought we were going to be on inside for a very long time. But now we outside. But that still doesn't mean, but whether we were inside or whether we were outside. Again, I told you all about Godzilla minus one. The problem with a lot of Disney movies, and I don't believe in superhero fatigue. What the problem is that you all have very mediocre or less than writers that are not, that either they won't or they do not have the ability to write compelling stories in regards to characters. And I'm probably, and I don't know if you all let me know if I'm hitting something or I'm missing the point entirely. I've noticed that you have a lot of writers that don't even know about the character that they're writing for. They're not immersed in the world. So I think that's a big problem because if you've got people who are not immersed in the character and they don't know anything about that world or that lore, you kind of have some BS stuff that comes across television, that comes across the movies. And nothing tells me more than that than how they continually are pushing back Blade to where you had to get rid of a whole writer and a whole script because it was straight trash. Straight trash. So that tells me that you have writers that are not, again, not immersed in the culture. Where are those writers that wrote for Blade when Blade first came out back in the early 2000s? Where are those writers? I do understand you want to tell another story and you want to reboot it and you want to tell a compelling story. Let's hope that that's what you're trying to do. But at least those writers wrote something that we could get into. Because it makes no sense. There is no sense. I think they announced Blade back what 2017, 2018, and here we are in 2023 and we have nothing. Y'all paid them folks all that money and you don't have nothing. Go get your money back. Marvel, go get your money back. Because this makes no sense. And here's the thing that's really pissing me off about that in regards to Blade. We was inside. We was inside. There's no way in the world you're gonna make me believe that we was inside and what came out of that Blade situation was straight trash, that they had to ditch it, get rid of the writer, get rid of all these people and bring new people in. Y'all been working on this since 2017. Mahershala Ali is what? 50? Late 40s? Maybe 50? I don't think he's 50. What are y'all gonna do? But you let me tell it. You really don't want to put that Blade movie out in the first place. Because I really don't think you wanted to put the Black Panther movie out quiet as kept as loud as I'm about to say it. Uh Marvel, Kevin Feige. But let's continue in these comments. Because I know in there, and thank you, Blue. I asked, where was T'Challa when Shuri took the mantle? And he says T'Challa never died in the comics. I hate when those who don't know say and act like he did. Because I'm still trying to figure out this illness that he got in Wakanda forever, and he had the heart shaped herb. Okay, I don't want to ramble. He said, okay, you got me with the options. Cool. Calm down, calm down. No, he wasn't dead. Yeah, and you talk, yeah, okay. Yeah, because Theo's the one that gave me all my homework. Excuse me. And a lot of people were upset. Andre, hey, Andre. Pam, this was right on time. They literally put themselves out of a job by not recasting T'Challa. And I cannot understand that. That is the craziest thing. I won't be able to get to all your comments, but that was the came in. Thank you for the $2 super chat right here. Keep giving them that truth. Thank you. But I can't understand, and that you see all the ninjas in here, Dre Mac and uh, Blues House and Caliber and Meister Geek Media, all these people with their ninjas. I can't understand for the life of me. I can't understand it. I can't understand uh, why recasting T'Challa was such. Why would two people pull themselves out of a job? I can't understand that. I don't want to make this long. I don't want to ramble. So I want to share my screen one more time, and we're going to look at the comments from my second video and go over those. So we got Theo again. T'Challa has led both the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. That's what I was trying to get at because I was remembering like wasn't he with the Fantastic Four? Well, like I said, when I read the comics weren't mine. They belonged to my cousins, they belonged to other family friends and stuff like that. So I never read a lot of the stuff in an order or anything like that. I read them like when I went over there. If they had the comics out, I would read the comics. So I remember it's like I remember him uh with the Fantastic Four or running with the Fantastic Four or fighting the Fantastic Four. I just remember Fantastic Four. And here we are coming up on the Fantastic Four coming out in the MCU. Do you not think that the Black Panther would have been instrumental in bringing them out? You didn't have to reboot their story. You didn't have to tell their story over. We know how they got their powers. We understand those things. You didn't have to reboot that part. But what you could have done is that he could have been conversing with them or working on some projects and stuff like that because he knew them in the scientific world. Because y'all remember, T'Challa was very, very smart. I know his sister has a level of intelligence, but his intelligence is up there or maybe even surpassing Shuri. But let's continue. His story about the Eye of Wakanda is going to be difficult to tell without talking about T'Challa because almost half the Black Panthers are his direct ancestors. Again, you're telling stories about the Black Panther without the Black Panther. It boggles my mind. It boggles my mind. Andre, another amazing take on the recast T'Challa conversation. They never had faith in the Black Panther from the start. That's why Chadwick had to fight so hard to get certain things in the movie, like the accent, when they were originally going to do a British accent. Yes. And I want to get to a comment This is the comment. It said, "That's not what was said. This MCU presentation was crafted due to specific artistic chances that Chadwick Boseman took and the studio went along with, which gave the cues to build up what would become the Black Panther." Now, this is from IG Wikala XM3DG. Sosa wasn't the lingua franca of Black Panther in the MCU without Chadwick Boseman committing to it and pushing for it. You don't get the warm King T'Challa looking to rally everyone with him without Chadwick Boseman pushing for it. And I don't know. So I answered this, and you let me know if because I didn't know really how I was supposed to answer that. But my question was, I thank you for the information. So does this mean that the artistic chances that Chadwick Boseman incorporated into the character and the world of Wakanda should have died with Chadwick Boseman, or should these artistic chances be the baseline to recast another character? Because I wasn't sure where you were going with this in regards to the recast T'Challa movement. I mean, I understand that Chadwick pushed for a lot of different things to go into his iteration and who he believed that Black Panther T'Challa was, even from the way that he walked, the way that he communicated, the way he saw the world. All of those different things were important. So I just wanted to know, and I hope you answer back. It was that. Are we using those things as baselines and they die with T'Challa, or are we using those things as baseline to recast somebody else? And I still stand firm in my words and what I say is that someone needs to sit Nate Moore, Ryan Coogler, and Nick Kevin Feige down and have that conversation. I want to know from Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige, my question is: are you invested in Black Panther and the character of who he is? And does he have a place within the MCU going forward? Not as a side character in iterations of What If or a side character in someone else's story. Does he have a place in these phases? Phase 5, phase 6, phase 7, phase 8. Does he have a viable position in those phases? And if he does, why is he not in there? The question that I have for Nate Moore, because the 2 or 3 videos that I did watch that Theo sent to me, he made it a very big iteration that he uh, read Black Panther as a kid, and he loved the story of Black Panther and all of these little different things. Okay, that was 2018, maybe 2019. Why are you not fighting for Black Panther in 2023? What are you doing at this point that the initial push for you to put Black Panther out there, now you're just, you're just not, you don't care. You don't care. I saw an interview. I don't know if it's in my homework, but I remember seeing an interview that E-Man did with him. And E-Man asked him a question, something to the effect of, when was this happening? And they were talking about the blip or something like that. And I remember, and I'm paraphrasing, but it seemed like Nate Moore sat there and he was like, "Oh, well, I didn't think that we could do something about certain things happening during the blip." Now, I hope that's in my homework, Theo. If not, I'm going to have to find that video. But that made me think, were you as invested as you say you were in the beginning? Because I would love to have heard the conversations, because I remember Kevin Feige saying, "Well, I'm going to let Nate Moore and Ryan Coogler figure it out." And I remember people waiting on bated breath about what was going on. And then you hear, oh, well, we're not going to recast. You know, there are other people that can take over the mantle. Who? What other people are you talking about? Because you haven't established T'Challa in his own show. Now, all of a sudden, there's other people that can take the mantle. Who? How, Sway? How? Who are these people? What's going on? So I want to sit down and ask him that. I want to sit down and ask Ryan Coogler, please let me know what that Black Panther 2 was going to be about. What was Black Panther? What was your vision? Your initial vision when you did not know that Chadwick Boseman was as sick as he was. What was that initial vision? And why did you stray away from it? Those are my sit down questions. Those are the questions. Tell me in the comments what your sit down questions would be. What would be your sit down question? Because those are my questions. I'm recast T'Challa all day, every day. Excuse me. I'm recast T'Challa all day, every day. But these are the questions that I have, again, as a layperson, that I want to know. A layperson with a nephew that was initially excited, but now he's a straight up Spider-Man fan. I want him back to be a Black Panther fan. So let me know if that $9.99 would be beneficial for me to pay to watch and listen to see Black Panther comics and how far they go back. Because if it is, I will definitely get that for him. He loves to read, and I would definitely get that app so that he can read through the comics and be more informed. Because I'd read them too, because I want to know what's going on as well. All right. I think at this point, it sounds like I'm rambling, and I don't want to ramble. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And share this video if you care, and share any of my other videos with folk. Get this information out. Going into the new year, the way my channel is set up, I probably have a couple of more, because I do know that the Jonathan Majors case, he's going to be sentenced in February. So I do have a couple of more videos in regards to Jonathan Majors prior to the sentencing that's going to come. It seems like my channel has done a shift. The writer strike is over and the actor strike is over. So that means that a lot of shows that I reviewed, like Bel Air, uh, P Valley, there is a third show. It has escaped me. And some other shows that I'm going to pick up. I'm going to be reviewing those shows in the coming of the New Year's, once those shows have finished production. So my television series reviews is going to amp up. I am going to be reviewing movies. I still do review movies. That's going to amp up again because of the fact that, the strikes and things are over. But I'm also going to keep celebrity legal news and things like that, where I will do dives and deep dives into what's going on with these celebrities, go through um, the pleadings and all these little different things, going through articles, getting information, trying to compile as much information as I can for you all to go over, so you all know exactly what's going on with all these legal proceedings. All right. We do this every week. Please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell your coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos, y'all. All right? And as always, people, bye-bye. Thea done gave me so much homework, y'all. And I'm finna go through them all.